Hello, viewers. I want to talk about something. If you have been observant, realize that Africa is moving from bad to worse economically, spiritually, socially, and otherwise. And we keep looking for remedy. We keep searching for remedy. And yet, remedy is very far away from us. I want us to use our tongue to count our teeth, to know that what is eating the bag of corn is inside the bag of corn. Look at our political leaders. Look at how they're embezzling funds that are meant for public use. Look at how they steal without fear, without conscience. And yet, when they are sworn into offices, they are sworn with the Bible, they are sworn with the Quran. After swearing in with these religious books, they are coming out worse than they entered there. Is there any political leader? This video is not actually against political leaders, but is there any political leader that you can say that he came out without touching public funds? Some of them is either they have somebody that will probe them now or somebody that will probe them later. But there's something that is missing, and that thing that is missing is that offer, that staff of authority that we usually use in the olden days. That staff of authority can be used to make people to be on their toes and do the right things. Political leaders are not supposed to touch public funds. Even they're supposed to make sure that those funds are appropriated and moved to the people that deserve to use the money. But today, religious books have failed because if they cannot catch, you look at the people that they're catching, most times it could be maybe a present sitting government doesn't like an opposition, and that opposition left the government. Definitely, you know what happens. In the reality of things, if both the ones that are accusing and the ones that are accused will use of four to swear, they will know that the land will never spare anybody, because Ofo is a sacred stick. Is a scepter that is sacred that can be used to vindicate yourself from any accusation. And Ofo will also make you to be very careful and wary of touching anything that belongs to someone else or belongs to the public. That is why back in the olden days, when we have our leaders were not touching anything public funds. They make sure those monies are left for public use. When they come in with clean hands. When they're going out, when they leave in office, they leave with clean hands. Unlike today, that what we're seeing, that there's hunger in the land, we're having so many issues of misuse of public funds. And that is why I'm saying we have to go back to the roots, and the root is doing the needful. And that is why if you look at some of these countries, like let me use China for example. China is practicing communism. They don't practice democracy. Democracy is the worst system of government in Africa. It's time to be corrected. Why? Because military is somehow better, but military because of the overuse of force. But military, to me, military is still better than democracy. Democracy makes people to get away easily with crimes. There are so many people that are supposed to be behind bars that are still walking freely on the road. If you come to a communist country, something like China, you look at how they deal with their public officers that dabbled with public funds. Some of them knowing they're going to face capital punishment. And that is why when they're going in, that is why even in China, like I learned in China, you cannot accuse political leaders because they make sure that they are always transparent in their dealings. Whenever they go in they make sure they show their source of income. In saner climes, political office holders usually declare their assets. We call it asset declaration. They declare their assets to showcase how much they have in their purse before they enter the political office and how much they have after leaving that office. It shows transparency, it shows that they can be scrutinized. It shows that they are honest in their dealings. But today, even when they have showcased all those things, they are coming back worse than they entered there. That's why I'm trying to say we can come back to our roots, which is ordinary spirituality, where we use staff of authority, offer. When you use offer and make swear an oath, if no man can indict you and no man can, if you can trying to get away with any indictment, you cannot get away from the land. You cannot run from that land where you made that, you swear that oath, because that land is the original offer. That any offer that has been swore for someone to hold something that belongs to the public, and if the person, after serving his tenure and comes back and he didn't do a better job, definitely that offer will take its course. And that is what we're saying. Africa have to go back to spirituality the way it was done back in the day. Even if we're going to remodel it, that is not an issue. But we must do it because the religion has failed Africa. People lie using religious teachings and preachings and all that. At the end, we are still wrangling and struggling economically. So the remedy is for us to go back to the roots and check where the problem started and know how to fix it. A time for make-believe stories where people can sit down and be told make-believe stories is gone. This is a time of great awakening where we're going to come out and whatever you say you want to do, you must do it and do it well, for the benefit of the community where you are serving.